Oh, hello. Welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations in Clay. My name is Louis Palladini, and tonight I'd like to do an animal that everybody is extremely familiar with. It's called a starfish. So when you go to the beach, you might see one of these in the water. I'll show you how to make that from start to finish. And what we're going to do now is I'll show you the types of clay that you can use. You can use this oil-based clay, which never hardens. You can use it over and over again, and this is the one I mentioned in the past I used to use when I was little. I love this clay because when I got bored with it, I just made something new. Another type of clay that you can use, which can be bought in any art store, is this air hardening clay, which can harden like in a couple hours or overnight, and what you can do is you can paint it so it's permanent. My preference for the clay is a clay called Super Sculpey, which can be baked in the regular kitchen oven at 275 degrees. For about 15 minutes. You can drill it, sand it, you can make a tremendous amount of detail. That's what's so great about this clay. I'll show you the size balls of clay that we'll be using tonight. I may have these 5 clay balls right here, and they're all about the same size. So that's the size that we want. And now I'll show you how to make the arms on the starfish. So we're going to proceed to make each one of these arms. There's 5 of them. And I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to take this ball of clay here, and we're going to roll it like this. And then I'll roll the other one. I'm going to just roll these. Number 5 right here, and we'll do that. So now, I'll show you. Well, now we're going to take our fingers. See this? I'm going to squeeze it and kind of lengthen it out like this. Just like that. See that shape that we just made? That's the shape that we want. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tap this on the table. I'm going to go down like this. See this? And we're going to flatten that arm out. So the bottom of the starfish, see how it's nice and flat? And that's what the arm will look like. We'll proceed to make the next one. So I'll take that, see how I'm just shaping that like that? Just like that. And then we'll proceed to tap that on the table again. See that? We got just like that. And what I want to do is make sure these are approximately the same size. Each one of these. So I'm just going to compare them. And we're going to proceed to make all 5 of the arms in that manner. And now as we're finishing up the final arm, we tap it, make it nice and flat. We can now proceed to put the starfish together. What we're going to do is I'm going to put it down here on the table, and we're going to put the arms like this. So what I'm going to do, see how we've done that? I'll show you. Now we're going to start to kind of push them together like this. And what we can also do is I'm going to take some additional clay, which I have over here. We're going to use the additive technique, and I'm going to put some of this in the center. Fill that area in. See, I'm just pushing that down. I'm going to take, just add that. Just like that. Because I want to make sure it's all pieced together. I can pick this up and show you how we're proceeding with it. See how we have the nice star shape now? And then what I'm going to proceed to do is I'm going to put some more clay on the bottom to hold this thing together. So you take this piece of clay here, See this, how I'm kind of pushing that clay in to the bottom because I want to make sure that the arms are all connected on the bottom. That's very important. See how I did that? And then we'll put this back down. And now we'll add some more clay. I want to build this up the center here. On the center of the starfish, we'll make that a little higher. See how I'm doing that? And we're going to keep adding a little more clay. Just see how I'm adding that. As we can see how the starfish looks? It's pretty cool. So what we want to do next is we want to take tin foil and we want to rough up the starfish. So I have some tin foil over here. This can be bought like in the supermarket or CVS. And then what you do is when you buy it, you just crinkle it up. And what we're going to do is now we're just going to tap this to get some, see that? We tap it to get it rough. See how I'm doing that? I'm going to rough them up to create that texture because they're very bumpy. So we'll do that. And what I'm going to do is put this down so it's going to make it easy for me to do both sides. See how I'm doing that? Come in from that side and then go in from that side. We'll do the same thing here. Just like that. And now come in from the other side. And now what we'll do is we'll proceed to go around, work on the other legs. This is what it should look like with the texture. See how that looks? Has that nice texture that you need for the starfish. And that's a simple way of making it. Because they have like a lot of little bumps in their body, but this is a simple way to get that effect that we want. And now the starfish is ready for firing, and we'll fire it in the oven at 275 degrees. And now that we have fired the starfish in the oven, it is now hard and it is ready to paint. And I'll show you the types of paints that we're going to use for this. These are the acrylic paints that will be used, which can be bought in any art store. There's about 18 in this package. And we're going to be using several colors. We're going to be using tan for the body. We're going to be using brown, and then we're going to be using the color white. So there's about 3 different colors that we want to use for this. I'll put the remainder of these away. The first thing that we want to do is one more step. I got to remember to do the brushes. For the body, we'll use this size brush here, like that one there. And then for the spots on the back, we'll use this brush here, this size right here. It's got a small head. And then we'll use another brush with a similar size head, this brush here. So the first step that I want to do is I want to take and put the tan color on. So what we can do is you want to take and just dab this on and go back and forth like this. Just like that. Take back and forth, just like that. You know, just back and forth, just like that. And I'll paint, just paint them partially. I'll show you how to do like 3 of the starfish's like legs or arms. See how we're doing that back and forth? Just like that. And then dab it. And then what we're going to do is in the center, just kind of dab that to make sure it's all filled in nicely. So I'm just dabbing that in, filling it in really nicely, making sure that we don't miss anything. You know, and if you feel you need another coat of paint, you can always add another coat after this dries. And I'll show you the next step. We're going to take and we're going to use some of the brown. I'm going to dab that. So we're basically just going to go like this. See, I'm just taking and dabbing. Just dab it, dab it. Just do a little dab. You know, just dab all around the arm. I'll show you how to do a couple of them that way. So see this, we're going dab, 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 dab. Just gonna, you know, they can be different sizes. Then we can do the same thing on the other side. And then what I also want to do is do the center. We'll dab that. Just like that. Very simple, very basic. And I'll show you, we're going to use the white color next. Now we'll just dab this. And then what I would do is try to dab in between where the brown spots were. See how we're just dabbing this? Dab. See how we're just doing that? Just like that. You know. And then we're going to proceed. You want to do this in the center also. Just like that. Just dab it a little bit here and there. Don't worry if it looks perfect or not. The most important thing is you want to have fun making this. It's your starfish. And see how I'm just dabbing that? Just like that. And dab. Just dab away. And I'll show you what the final version will look like when you paint it. We'll put this aside. This is what your final version of your starfish will look like. See, we have the nice tan color that was painted, and then we dabbed it with all the brown dots and the white dots. So that's what your starfish will look like when it's complete. And I do want to thank you for coming to Creations in Clay, and I do look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye for now.